Welcome.
Hey, what's up you guys? Yes, today we're going to be doing another creepy video. And today we're going to be talking about some of the creepiest things that have happened on TV. And I'm warning you, some of these are very, very disturbing. So first we're going to be talking about creepy game show hosts. So in the late 70s, a man named Richard Dawson hosted a show. Now he was a great host, really funny, really quick, but there was one thing he did that was very, very creepy. He would kiss female contestants and say it was for good luck. And he did it so much that his nickname became the Kissing Bandit. And we're not just talking a little kiss on the cheek or something cute. We're talking an actual kiss on the lips without even them asking for it. Check it out.
Good luck with your career. Okay? Don't get a job like
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
in an order. That's very good.
Hello.
How you doing?
Fine, thanks.
What would you say?
Stereo.
All right. Stereo. I couldn't live without mine.
I know, fucking creepy. And that's not the only creepy thing he did. He'd also say really weird sexual things. And this was a family show. Just check this out.
I love you.
We must get on with the game. Well, I tell you honestly, we've been on the air, I think, a year and a half. It's the first time on those introductions I've ever gotten aroused. Now, no, I'm leveling with you. That's the most passionate kissing. I usually kiss for luck, but I got involved a couple of times there.
I know. Very, very weird. But this isn't the only game show host that has kissed contestants. Unfortunately, the next host took it to an extreme. In the 1980s, there was a show in Canada called Just Like Mom, and it was hosted by a man named Fergie Oliver. Now, most of the contestants on the show were young girls under the age of 13, and he would always try to kiss them. And once again, not cute little kisses on the cheek. This is very disturbing. So if you're triggered by this type of stuff, I would definitely click off this video. Check it out.
Look at me a little closer. They're green. You hand out kisses, Jennifer? Can I have a little kiss, please? Oh. Can I have a hug and a kiss? I can't have one?
Mm-mm.
Even if I say and whisper in your ear that Allison, you're gonna win the show, I still can't have a hug and a kiss? Well, I guess you can't win the show then. If I don't get a hug and a kiss. Yeah, you hear that? Oh, you missed.
Probably the most disturbing thing I've ever seen, ever. And I don't know why they wouldn't stop him or why they wouldn't fire him, or why the parents would let it happen. All of it just fucking freaks me out. Well, Fergie never got in trouble, and he went on to have more shows and more success and a pretty long career, so whew. So I've seen a lot of really creepy, uncomfortable moments happen on news channels, mainly because it's live, so you kind of never know what people are going to say. But this next clip definitely takes the cake. On a show called Headline News on CNN, the host Glenn Beck asked a reporter a question that was very disturbing. They were talking about a nude picture scandal that happened on American Idol, and then he asked her about her own pictures, and then this happened.
Somebody would get a picture of you, and then it would be posted all around, and it'll happen in your office.
Yeah, possibly.
You don't think so?
Well, it depends, you know.
Dina,
it
I've
depends.
got some time and a camera. Why don't you stop by? No. Okay.
Oh my god. The silence after he asked it and just the uncomfortableness. Oh my god. Also, why would you ask that? Ooh, and this silence in the room, it reminded me of, remember when Kelly Osbourne said on The View about Donald Trump, how like if he got rid of all Mexicans and like who would clean his toilet? If you don't remember, check it out.
If you kick every Latino out of this country, then who is going to be cleaning your toilet, Donald Trump?
Oh, that's no.
In the sense that, you know what I mean? Like,
oh my God, the silence in the room. Oh, by the way, Kelly apologized. She misspoke. She didn't explain what she was trying to explain right. I'm not sticking up for her, I'm just saying we all fuck up. But man, that silence in that room after she said that, oh, awful. Now this next moment is from my favorite show of all time, and that is Big Brother. And I remember watching this when it happened on TV. So back in 2002, there was 2 contestants named Justin and Krista. They were kind of like the showmans of that season. Well, they were in the kitchen one night and they were hanging out, and then things progressively started to get very weird. He talked about bashing her head in, he put a knife to her throat. The whole thing was fucking very disturbing. And then because of that, he got kicked off the show. So here is a clip from the actual show when this happened. Check it out.
Yesterday, producers expelled one of 12 house guests for breaking the rules. Justin, the bartender from Bayonne, New Jersey, threatened house guests with violence and physical intimidation. It was a violation of one of the most serious rules of the house. As you will soon see, Justin's threatening behavior continued, as did the concerns of his housemates for their own safety. The final straw for the producers was the incident Tuesday night in the kitchen. Krista was intoxicated. They started to kiss.
Hey, Mom, I don't like O.
Whatever,
like
dude.
it.
I ain't got no time for you.
Come your mama.
Stay right there. Stay right there.
All right.
Would you get mad if I cracked you over the head with this?
Your mama would, though. I'm
Yeah.
the first girl that don't like.
For real?
So your mom would love me. How ma?
Not for nothing. Would you get mad if I killed you?
At this point, Justin picked up a large kitchen knife and repeated to an intoxicated Krista, "Seriously, would you get mad if I killed you?" He put the knife to Krista's throat as they kissed. He then took the knife away momentarily, and then he returned the knife to its drawer.
That's gonna make me take the peanut butter, open it up, and say, ah.
At this point, Justin was called into the diary room.
Justin, please go to the diary room.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. We got problems. We got problems. I think it might have been that knife to your neck.
After a lengthy consultation with the show's psychologist, producers were left with no choice but to expel Justin to protect the safety of the house guests.
I know, fucking crazy. I mean, the idea of Big Brother is crazy in general because you're putting a bunch of strangers in a house together. There's knives, there's weapons. Like, what if somebody just fucking snaps? And then we're all watching at home on the live feeds as it happens? It's fucked up. Well, later on, Krista actually sued CBS because she found out that Justin had prior charges for violence. He was arrested on assault charges like 5 years before that, and also stole a car. And for some reason, CBS like didn't screen that or figure that out, so obviously Krista was pissed. Now this next one is really fucked up, and I have been fascinated by it for years. I have watched documentaries about it, I have seen interviews about it, and it is intense. So back in the 90s, there was a show called The Jenny Jones Show. So Jenny Jones was kind of like Oprah mixed with Maury Povich. Like, she would have on guests, she would ask them crazy questions, they would do makeovers, and one of the most popular things they would do is have people come in and talk about their secret love. And then they bring out the person and they'd confess their love to them on national TV. And usually it would end with a kiss and the audience would clap and then they'd be happy forever. Well, unfortunately, in March of 1995, that did not happen. On this particular episode, which was never shown on TV, a man named Scott told his friend, who was a man, that he had feelings for him.
How bad's the crush? Tell me about the first time you met him. Where was he?
Basically, well, he was under a car, working on her brake line.
Yeah? And that was your first time? What was your first impression?
Well, I only saw the lower half of him, so you can imagine.
So then Jenny brought out his friend Jonathan, who had no idea.
People, get the headphones off of John and let's have John come out here and see who has the crush on him. Here's John.
And then Scott told Jonathan, and it got pretty awkward.
Did you think Donna had the crush on you?
Did I? No, we're good friends.
Well, guess what? It's Scott that has the crush on you.
You lied to me.
And then Jenny brought up something really awkward to talk about, which was Scott's fantasy that he had about Jonathan.
Well, it entails like whipped cream and champagne, stuff like that.
Well, it was all fun and games, and the audience was laughing and cringing, and everybody thought it was a really great time. Unfortunately, 3 days after the show taping, something very bad happened. Jonathan went to Scott's house 3 days later with a shotgun and shot him dead. And in court, Jonathan said one of the main reasons he did it was because of what happened on the show, and that he was humiliated and that it ruined his life. And because of that, the show was never aired. Jenny Jones even had to go to court to testify and say that it was not their intent to piss him off. They did not think it was going to go that way. But either way, unfortunately, it ended in murder. Now this last one is fucking crazy. I can't believe this happened, and I can't believe I hadn't heard about it until recently. And that is the fact that on the show The Dating Game, a serial killer won. In 1978, there was a man named Rodney Alcala, and he was on a killing spree in California. During the killing spree, he went on a show called The Dating Game, and he was put as Bachelor #1. And at the time, nobody knew that he was an actual serial killer. Check it out.
Please welcome Rodney Alcala. Rod, welcome.
And some of his answers were so fucking creepy if you think about the fact that he's a serial killer.
Bachelor #1.
Yes.
What's your best time?
The best time is at night. Nighttime.
The only time? What's wrong with morning, afternoon?
Well, they're okay, but nighttime's when it really gets good.
I know, fucking creepy. And the craziest part, he won. This girl won a date with a fucking serial killer.
You heard from the bachelors, you got some great dramatic presentations, some good answers, but now I'm going to ask you a question. Will that date be Bachelor #1, Bachelor #2, or Bachelor #3? Who gets the dates?
I'll take one.
#1, Bachelor #1, all right. Say hello to Rodney Alcala. Rodney, come on and say hello. Congratulations, Rod, you did it with the one answer.
Now, luckily, they never actually went out on the date. She met him face to face and she was like, nah, I'm not into it. Well, this is the craziest part. He would pretend to be a fashion photographer and he would have girls come over, he would photograph them. They thought that he was like a legit photographer, and then he would kill them. Now, he's currently in prison on death row for a few different murders, but then police found in his house a bunch of photographs of girls, and then they realized that those girls were also dead. Now, police are still looking into this, and they're looking at the pictures and trying to find the bodies and trying to match them, but what they do know is that there's a chance that he killed up to 130 women. But luckily, the girl who chose him, Cheryl Bradshaw, did not go on the date, so she's still alive. Well, there you guys go. Those are all the creepiest moments from TV. Hey, what's up you guys? Yes, today we're going to be talking about more creepy moments on TV. And this first creepy moment involves one of my biggest fears, and that is earthquakes. So in 1989, there was an earthquake in San Francisco that was massive. It's commonly referred to as the 1989 World Series earthquake because it happened during the World Series. And it's the first time that there's ever been a big earthquake while it was also being televised on national TV. So the clip I'm about to show you is pretty creepy. Basically, during the game, the guys are talking about what's going on, and then the earthquake comes, and then it just cuts to a picture. Check it out.
Maldonado with the hesitation, allowing Jose Canseco to score, and he fails to get Dave Parker at second base, so the Oakland A's take.
I'll tell you what, we're having an earthquake.
I know, that was like out of a movie or something. Well, then the sound came back, and you can hear everybody in the crowd screaming. Check it out. So that's the only televised footage of the earthquake, but a lot of people were filming on home video cameras and stuff all around the city, and I have some of those clips, and they are fucking creepy. This first clip is from a classroom where a teacher was teaching her lesson when the earthquake hit.
And they have a candidate who's very strong and is fighting with us for second place.
This next clip is from another school where they're playing in the gym. Check it out. This clip is probably the most unsettling of all. This was taking place at a children's birthday party. So when it starts, you can see a kid stuck underneath like a play car, and then it just gets fucked up.
Stay here.
So this earthquake was massive. It caused over $5 billion of damage. Houses were destroyed, malls were completely torn up, roads crumbled, but luckily not that many people died, only 67 in total, which is a lot, but could have been a lot worse. So this next moment on TV actually involves Donald Trump. Enough said, right? It is so fucking creepy, and creepy for a different reason. Just watch.
I don't think Ivanka would do that inside the magazine, although she does have a very nice figure. I've said that if Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her. You know.
Stop it! Oh, it's so weird.
I mean, what? I mean, Donald says some crazy shit, obviously, but to say that you would fuck your daughter that's next level. I could probably do a whole video of all the crazy, creepy shit Donald Trump has said on TV, but we ain't have time for that. And I don't want to get political. I don't even know if I'm Republican or Democrat or any of that shit, but yeah, let's move on. So reality shows can go really wrong really fast, mainly because sometimes they don't really do great background checks of people. You could have somebody who's literally insane and could be in a house living with people and just snap. Or you could have somebody that's literally insane and then once the show's over, they can snap. And unfortunately, that is what happened here. So there was a show in 2009 called Megan Wants a Millionaire. It was a show about a ditzy girl who was trying to find the guy of her dreams. So she had a bunch of millionaires come to this big house and fight for her love. It was actually a pretty funny show, but unfortunately it only lasted a few episodes because it was canceled after one of the former contestants killed their girlfriends. On August 15th of 2009, a woman named Jasmine Floor's body was found shoved into a suitcase. Her body had been beaten and crushed and mutilated beyond recognition. The killer took off her fingernails, took out her teeth, did anything he could so that the police could not identify her. And then he shoved her into a suitcase and threw her into a dumpster. That's literally the most fucked up thing I've ever heard in my life. And the only way the police actually could identify her was by taking out her breast implants and looking at the serial number and then tracing it back from that. Well, all the evidence pointed to a man named Ryan Jenkins, who is currently on the show Megan Wants a Millionaire. Well, a couple days later when the police went to question him, they found his dead body because he killed himself. And then right after that, the show was canceled. But you can still see clips of it online, and you can see him on the show, which is so disturbing because you're watching it and you're like, oh my god, that guy is going to kill somebody in the most brutal way possible. Now this next creepy moment did happen on camera, and I'm just gonna warn you, it's pretty gross. So 16 years ago, Survivor went to the Outback. They were in Australia, it was beautiful. It's probably one of the most popular seasons there's been. And one of the reasons it's the most famous is because one of the contestants fell into a fire. His name is Michael Skupin, and here is him after he fell into the fire, ran to the water, and just watch.
You okay?
Oh! Oh my God!
He's burnt pretty bad, Terry.
Here's the water.
In the water. What happened? Passed out in the fire. Passed out, fell in the fire.
Passed out in the fire.
Stay in the water, stay in the water.
Okay, now this next part is very, very gross, so if you're squeamish, just close your eyes for a second. So you can see the burns on his face and his chest, but when he pulls his hands out of the water, you can see his skin literally falling off. Just check it out.
Look at these things.
Keep your hands in the water.
Oh my God.
Ah! God! Ah! That's why I don't watch these shows. Oh my God. Let's move on. Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about isn't really creepy. It's more uncomfortable and weird. And that is the famous psychic Sylvia Browne fucking up on national TV. So Sylvia Browne was one of the most famous psychics in the world. She had best-selling books. She was always on talk shows talking to people and giving readings. She charged so much money to have readings with people and like give them advice on their life. She really was like the shit when it came to psychics. Well, then she had a couple moments on TV that made people question whether or not she was real. Just check out this first one on Montel.
You had a question for Sylvia about your daughter Michelle?
My daughter Michelle was 17 years old. She'll be gone 5 years, the 21st of this year. Sylvia, I don't know how she died. Please, if you can, how did she die? She was shot.
Circumstances around her death?
She just collapsed in her room.
I don't know, but something looks like it hit the chest.
Yeah, so after she fucked up, she tried to like backtrack. It didn't work.
Because it looks like a combustion.
They found nothing on the autopsy.
I don't care,
Nothing.
but it looks like something hit her in the chest.
They did an autopsy. They did drug. You know, they do whatever
Everything.
they do. It's just she was a healthy child and
She was in her.
just fell out in her
Just
room. Just
went
fell
out.
like a
Yeah.
golf club's fall or whatever.
I know, just went down.
Yeah.
I don't know, but there was something that hit her in the chest.
And then she fucked up again, this time even worse.
I lost my boyfriend tragically a few years ago. They never found him. And I've had such a hard time since. Every day.
The reason why you didn't find him is because he's in water. And to find him in water, it's like the girl that's missing in Aruba. You can't find somebody.
Well, it was September 11th. There was no, he was a fireman.
And then once again, she tries to backtrack and just fucks up even more.
Is there any way he could have drowned in water some way?
They never found a piece of him. Nothing.
But this next moment she had is probably the worst and definitely something that left people really pissed off. So she had a live show and one of the viewers stood up and asked a question about her son. Her son was in the hospital with a sickness and they told him that he was probably gonna die. So basically she had a choice. Did she want him to die in the hospital or did she want to bring him home so he could die with his family? So she asked Sylvia Brown.
My number was the first one picked. And I was so excited.
This is unbelievable.
Told her my son was dying. And I was wanting to know if he was going to live. And she matter-of-factly said, yes, he's going to live.
My son is in the hospital, fighting for his life. And we know is there any way they're going to be able to save him?
Yeah, they will save him.
Brown told her that Mark would get a miraculous treatment and would be better by the end of the month, that Flans should not bring him home for hospice care, but leave him in the hospital.
His wife wants to send him home with hospice.
No, keep him there for a while.
So Sylvia Brown basically told her, no, don't take him home, everything's gonna be fine. She even said this.
I don't give a damn what the doctors say, Brown told Flans. Your son will survive.
Well, Sylvia Brown was wrong, and he did die. And he died in the hospital and not at home like he wanted.
2 days later, Mark was dead.
Mark didn't want to die in the hospital. He wanted to go home. And Sylvia Brown told us that he was going to hold him to the end of the month and he'd get better.
So this woman believed her, and she was wrong, because she probably was not real. And Sylvia Brown had many cases like this where people said that she fucked up their life, all of her advice was wrong, she predicted things that never happened. She just had a bad track record. Oof, but seeing her fuck up on TV like that was just so uncomfortable. So this last moment we're going to talk about is very graphic, so I'm just warning you, you're going to see some blood. And that was on an episode of Cheaters where the host got stabbed. So Cheaters was a show where you would go on it if you thought your spouse was cheating on you, and then the host would take you and like you'd find your spouse fucking somebody else and there'd be a big altercation, and I don't know, it was a trashy show, but I kind of liked it.
I can't believe you did this to me. I can't believe you did this to Zane.
You did it to Zane.
I didn't do it to Zane. You didn't even tell me who the you really were. You're not even really who you say you are.
Well, on one episode in 2003, the host Joey Greco got more than he bargained for when the man they were confronting stabbed him.
The locks are going to be
Will y'all
changed.
please back up and get off my boat already?
Nope.
I still see y'all staring at me, you know what I'm saying? Y'all need to
You gotta
back
knock.
up.
No!
You up,
No!
bitch!
Mitchell, stop! Stop, Mitchell!
Get my bitch! Get the
Stop!
You got him. Put your hands behind your back. Put it back easy. You got him. Put it back easy. All right. Put it back up. All right, now. Joe, you all right? Come on. He's bleeding.
Oh my God.
Come on, come on. Easy, easy. Get him out of here.
Oh my God. What is wrong with you, Mitchell? You're not going to see me anymore.
Okay?
Yeah, I'm all right.
Leave him here. Leave this guy here. Down. Does anybody here know first aid?
Yeah, I told you it was gonna be graphic. Well, after they show him sitting there in the boat with blood coming out of his stomach, then they cut to him getting into an ambulance, and it gets even more disturbing.
Joey, stay with me. I need you to stay as conscious as possible, okay? People are bringing approximately 26-year-old male in.
It was definitely the first time, I think, on TV you saw somebody get stabbed. Definitely the first time on a reality show. But the crazy thing is, the show wasn't canceled after that. It went on for like many more seasons. But luckily, Joey didn't get stabbed again, so. First, oh God. Oh!